Welcome back. Let's try once more now to get more analysis on extortion crimes by welcoming crime expert Mr. Willem Els. Very elusive you are this afternoon, Willem. Thank you so much for making time to be with us today. So quite a turn of events on this protection fee gangs now spreading countrywide. What did you just make of the briefing by the police commissioner there? Do you get a sense of a clear directive of how they will actually effectively deal with the growing crisis of crime?
Good afternoon to you. Yes, I think it's a fresh breeze that we have from a few months ago. We see clear direction, we see a plan, we see that the operational command taking action and leading from the front. So I think that is really encouraging from the National Commissioner, where he is really hands-on and tackle it, because it's been long overdue. In the second place, what was really a takeaway that we could get there is that it seems that we allowed crime to really get out of hand to such an extent that the criminals became so brazen, to the effect that what the General just mentioned, that they entered the base and started shooting at the policemen in their base. So that is just an indication of the brazenness and the levels to where we have ended up with. And that is why it is really time that we take action, as that has been taken by the commissioner now.
Just on that very point, Willem, that you make, that we allowed crime to get this far. I mean, I suppose one has to wonder why the situation actually had to get to this point when there has long been reports of such behavior for the longest time. It seems our systems really are reactionary, and action will only be enforced when the situation really gets out of hand. I mean, in this instance, because the public services and officers are now being targeted, there's now resources being directed towards this behavior. I mean, according to a Geneva-based NGO, the Global Initiative Against Transactional Organized Crime, these mafias actually surfaced back in 2014 with roots in KZN's Umlazi township.
That's correct. Yeah, it started off with your construction mafia. And unfortunately, how it unfolded, if you read the report, it will state that some government officials were actually sanctioned it and were part of it. And there was that sense of protection that they operated under. And that is your challenge that you sit with. When these criminals are being protected, you must understand, for any organized crime syndicate, especially when it goes transnational, but for your national organized crime syndicates as well, they need to compromise state actors in order to protect them. And the higher they're compromising, the better their protection. And that is why, one of the reasons why they became so brazen, because they know that there's impunity for them, because should they be arrested, or should someone want to arrest them, there will be protection either from a political level or from a senior police level.
Mm-hmm. Willem, did you get a sense that the National Police Commissioner actually, touched on that basis of also internal corruption amongst the forces as well?
Yeah, that is one of the challenges. That is also the number 2 priority that was stipulated out by the minister in Parliament last week, and that is to tackle corruption within the police, because all the policemen are not corrupt. I don't think a very big percentage of them are corrupt, but those bad apples are really spoiling the broth for the police, because the policemen, just think about you being an NIU member like these guys that are being deployed there now, and there's one member in that team that cannot be trusted or that is being compromised. It actually defeats the end of everything that they are doing, because all the information before they operate will go out. They will be compromised even before they start. And that is the police's challenge that they have. So the vetting system that must be done to all these members, it is time to start from within and clean out, because you cannot attack this major problem with a compromised force.
Willem, let's look at the reality of what this crime actually does. I mean, the estimated amount that they've drained from their operations countrywide is estimated at about 64 billion rand, has delayed multiple projects, impacts heavily on service delivery, and also poses a danger to employees as well as employers.
Exactly, and the economy is suffering, and the man on the street is suffering. South Africa with our challenge with the lack of jobs and economic growth. This is really hampering it, and it's actually at the expense of the man in the street. So it is about time that we take action, and that one thing that we must mention, and this was one of the questions that came out during the press conference, is, are these people now here forever, or what's going to happen? We must understand that this is a short-term plan, that the strategy that's been employed and deployed. Now it is time for the commissioner and his team to sit down and look at a medium and a long-term strategy in how to address this problem, because just putting a band-aid on the sore is not going to heal the situation. So we will have to sit back, and we will have to come up with a holistic challenge. The police, for instance, is responsible for combating and for prevention of crime, and also investigation here. But the challenge is that police don't have control over all the drivers of this crime. So the commissioner must go and sit down with his counterparts in other state departments. They must come up with a holistic strategy. Otherwise, 3, 4, 5 years from now, we're going to sit at the same place, we're going to discuss the same problems.
A very quick one on that point of police not having complete control, Willem. I mean, this scourge has also contributed to the high number of police being killed in the line of duty. And then questions of how exactly are police supposed to then defend themselves, as, of course, their reaction has come into sharp point of criticism by some analysts. But really, I mean, what choice do they have in these situations?
Yeah, unfortunately, you have some analysts that really come out and they criticize the police at the wrong time. The police have got a duty. The police is in the front lines. The police have to act within the auspices of the law. The police have got the legislation that actually dictates to them when they may shoot and when they may not shoot. And then they've got IPIT that is there to police them. Every time a police officer is using a firearm, it will be investigated. Should the police officer not have done the right thing, he or she will be charged. So that is the challenge and the problem, the sword that hangs over the police's head. So for these people to come in and sow this sort of what we can call it, the uncertainty amongst the policemen, so when to shoot and when not to shoot. They have been trained. They are trained in the college. They are trained when they go to the shooting range. Every time they are introduced, this is the law, this is when you may shoot, and this is when you may not shoot. So the moment that policeman hesitates, he or she might be killed. And that is the challenge. We see that the criminals are brazen. They lost their fear to the police, and they are not scared to use their firearms on the police.
Willem, as always, great input. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Willem Els, the crime expert on the rising crime concerns in Mthatha, as well as the briefing by National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola a short while ago. Please don't forget that the SABC News will also have a special focus on extortion, and this will be focused in Mthatha on Tuesday.